Hello everyone and welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. I'm one of your hosts for this week's CPAC event here in Orlando, Florida, and I am joined by the one and only Father Frank Pavone. Father, if you don't mind just reintroducing yourself and a little bit about yourself to our viewers.
Yes, well Liz, it's always good to be with you. Thank you. And Priests for Life is the ministry I lead, and also the National Pro-Life Religious Council. So I work interdenominationally to help people deal with the abortion issue, to help people protect unborn children, and in the process of doing so, of course, to be very active politically, which is what got me involved with the RSBN family.
And you're fantastic. I'm not Catholic, but you are just as welcoming to every single person you meet, no matter their denomination or religion. So
Right.
I thank you for that, and just your loving, kind spirit that you, and your energy that you bring everywhere. So for those who are not familiar, or you're new to us, he actually joined us for some of those rallies, and you were an incredible rally host.
Well, thank you. Yes, we were together in I know the Jacksonville rally, and I did a number of the other Florida rallies.
Was it the Villages?
And the Villages, I was at the Villages, and also Sanford.
Yep, so a lot of them. And how long have you been involved in politics?
Well, really since I began heading up Priests for Life, which was in 1993. So we got involved in the 1994 midterms, and then ever since then we've led an increasingly vocal movement to help, especially to help pastors know what they need to say, which was one of the great things about President Trump. He encouraged the clergy to speak their mind about politics.
There was a lot of slack back on that, and people are saying that the church shouldn't be involved in politics. You're doing quite the opposite. So
I'll tell you what, Liz. Yeah, well, when pastors tell me that sometimes, they say we should be doing the work of preaching the gospel and nurturing the church. I say to them, of course that's the work of the church, but what makes you think you're going to be free to do that work if we elect the wrong people, like the Democrats who don't respect religious freedom?
And we have seen that happen. I don't want to go into details over, what's gone on with these lockdowns, but we've seen churches shut down recently.
Yes.
27 years old, I never thought that I would be witnessing what I learned about in history.
It's terrible, isn't it? It's terrible to have to live through that. And it's on two levels. One is the outright shutting down of the churches, using the pandemic as an excuse to go overboard.
Absolutely.
Okay? And even the courts have agreed that they went overboard in a lot of these Democrat-run states. But the other thing is, even when churches are open and things are functioning somewhat normally, to live out our conscience, to live out our faith in the public arena, the other side does not want that to happen. See, what we call religious freedom and freedom of conscience, they call freedom of worship. What they mean is, well, you go inside the four walls of your church, and what you do there, or what church you go to, or what readings you choose from the scriptures, that's up to you. Well, wait a minute. No, it's not just in church on Sunday. It's at work on Monday. It's the kind of insurance plans. We at Priests for Life employ 50 people. What kind of insurance plan do we give them? Well, we're not going to cover abortion in that insurance plan, right?
And a lot of people want you to have that. You cover everything, and it's included in that, but you should not be held responsible for something that goes against your religion.
No, that's right. And it's our freedom to exercise our faith. We had to fight for that right all the way up to the Supreme Court.
And that was sisters?
Yeah, those sisters, it was the same.
That also had this.
Yes, there were. In fact, there were a lot of them. There were 7 cases that were combined at the Supreme Court back in 2014, 2015. Ours was one of them. And I never thought we'd have to fight all the way to the court just to live out our faith in our workplace. And some people said, oh, well, you're forcing your employees to adopt your position. First of all, our employees share our position. But secondly, no, it's not about forcing them to do anything. It's about us being able to do our work in accordance with our faith.
And what was the Supreme Court's ruling? I believe they favored
us.
Yeah.
No, what they did was they vacated the lower court rulings which had ruled against us.
Okay.
But instead of deciding on the merits, they said, we believe that this can be worked out. And of course, with the Obama administration, they didn't want to work it out. But when President Trump was elected, he gave us the exemption that we were fighting for. So he's really the one that saved our ministry from facing this problem.
And to most of your ministry, that is huge. They feel it on their heart every day that they're supporting something that goes directly against what their Lord and Savior wants
what
them
our
to
Lord
do.
wants, right, and what the ministry was founded to do, to end abortion. So, no, that's why, when I do my broadcasts from my studio, we've got a picture of President Trump behind me, as I think you've seen. And, I do my broadcast, and some people say, why do you have a picture of President Trump behind you? And I would say to them two things. I said, well, first of all, he's our president. I said, and secondly, if he weren't where he is, we wouldn't be where we are. We would not have been able to continue. We would have been given these crippling fines by the Obama government, and President Trump freed us from that.
It's really nice to hear about things that are so tangible, especially for you, and to hear that like the justice system actually worked. Like, so a lot of people go to courts for years, and at the end of the day, it's like, oh, what came of that?
Right.
But for you really saw a solution to that problem. And
That's right.
Do you think that for now, is it over and done with, or do you think you might?
For us,
there's a new administration. Do you think that could change anything?
For us, we are safe because we entered into a settlement agreement that holds even under a contrary administration.
Oh, that was smart.
So, yes. For a lot of groups, it's not over because one of the things Joe Biden said was that he would put that mandate that was trying to force us to include certain forms of abortion in our health insurance plans, that he would put it back in place. So it's like, and here's a guy who's claiming to be a devout Catholic, and he wants to force Catholic ministries to violate their faith.
If anyone can talk about that, it's also you.
Yes.
So I have heard he's not even a practicing Catholic, is he?
Well, he goes to Mass.
Okay.
But, the Lord said, some people on the last day are going to say, Lord, Lord, you taught in our streets, and he's going to say, I never knew you. Going to church, invoking religious language, carrying a rosary, saying you believe, that counts for nothing if you're not being obedient to the will of the Father. And that's what Jesus said, that's salvation. Obedience to the will of God. And here's a man he's throwing the will of God out the window.
His face is quite literally the poster boy for Planned Parenthood.
It's awful, that's right.
Quite a contradiction there, but again, not my specialty, I suppose. Let's talk about something that we both know. We've seen it. We've been to President Trump's rallies, but that is, the 45th President of the United States, and how we think he's going to go down in history, how we could possibly preserve his legacy.
Yes.
What do you think?
You know what? We haven't even begun to digest the accomplishments he has made. We discussed them at the rallies. That was, one of the fun things about the rallies.
Just watching at the rallies was fun for me.
These were great. Nothing like he always said, no place to be like a Trump rally, right?
Really not.
So, and we're going to get a taste of that 48 hours from now.
I'm so
You're
excited.
You're going to be right here.
Y'all have no idea. You guys, for those of you who are watching this tonight, you're going to be watching this on the 26th, Friday the 26th, Sunday the 28th at 3:40 p.m. President Trump will be speaking live from CPAC.
Yes.
Right Side Broadcasting Network will have it entirely, and you guys can tune in on any of our platforms to watch it, but we're really excited. First time since leaving office that he's going to be giving a public speech like this to
it's
such a large
going to be great.
audience.
And because what he does in these speeches that you and I have seen a million times, he will recite, he will review so many of the accomplishments that he and his marvelous team, see, this is part of his genius, and it is genius, is the way he establishes teams that know what they're doing, that are courageous in getting it done, and he knows to rely on people who know more about a particular issue than he does.
Exactly. You put the best of the best at those positions.
He knows how to do that. So he would, at these rallies, he would review all these different accomplishments. But each one of those, it's like a table of contents. Each one of those accomplishments then needs to be unpacked. Now, we established a special website, prolifepresident.com. What we do at that website now is that we unpack, we catalog, we talk about all these different accomplishments of the president, because when somebody takes the time to study those, and this has been one of the great things about Right Side Broadcasting, all these rallies, because there was so much time there to do the commentary on. We expanded on what the president was going to say or what he did say. But here's the thing: that the more people unpack this, they're going to realize not only were these good accomplishments. A lot of presidents have good accomplishments. These were historically good.
Yeah.
He did things that for decades others were talking about and never had the courage to do.
It's very well said. Historically good accomplishments, things that if anyone else did, I mean, this man would be glorified all over the world.
Right.
As opposed to being ridiculed by, 90% of media and unfair coverage of what he's done.
I think, Liz, you heard me say during the time we were doing all those prayer broadcasts and everything, right after the election, I think you heard me say that, and I still do it. I say to the Biden supporters, okay, here's my one question for you. Name me your top 5 favorite accomplishments of Joe Biden. I'm still waiting for an answer.
I'm trying to think. Even if I was a deranged liberal, what could I possibly...
And when you think of it, he was in federal office like 10 times longer than Donald Trump. The list of accomplishments should be 10 times longer.
He has yet to have a press conference by himself.
It's awful. It's awful.
He can't even stand up there and say anything for 5 minutes. He's just...
No, but you look at, the greatest economy in our history. This President Trump, brought us to the greatest economy in our history and the most diverse. This is what makes me laugh about the other side talking about diversity and inclusion. President Trump brought more diversity to the Republican Party and more inclusion in the economy. In other words, what this means is, you talk about higher wages, higher median income, more job opportunities, more small businesses for the minority community. Why aren't people celebrating that instead of criticizing this man?
No, and the thing is, the reason these rallies, he goes through that list, like you said, is because he has to reiterate it. Otherwise, it's almost as if it didn't happen, which is unbelievable. But that's because that's the way the media wants this to be written.
They want to erase it. They want to erase it.
Right Side Broadcasting Network is here. We are keeping all these copies of these rallies because this has been history in the making. The amount of support and love and just astronomical numbers of people that come out for President Trump.
You know what people need to do, and this is one of the things I'm advocating. Right Side has these rallies posted, of course. People need to go back and watch them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They need to go back and watch them. We miss the president. We're going to have him here, day after tomorrow, but we miss him. But we don't have to miss him that much because we still have him in these videos.
I get it. I get where you're coming from. Obviously, I'm like, go watch our videos.
Yeah.
But let's hear it out for the people. So much has happened.
Yes.
And they're looking for a leader right now.
We need a leader.
And that's one of my biggest questions about what he's going to say. What's next for him? He has earned this position, at the top of our party and our former president. But he was such a good leader and just a natural born one. So what's next?
Well, we have to take seriously what he said a number of times before his term ended. He said, our movement to make America great has only just begun. Now, I take that literally, and we should all take that literally. He is going to continue to lead. He's going to continue to lead the party. He's going to continue to lead making America great, because he did start a movement. He always said it, didn't he? It's not a campaign. It's a movement.
Yeah.
And the Make America Great movement, you and I have talked about this. It's not a matter of nostalgia. MAGA doesn't mean, let's turn back the clock. What it means is let's get deeper into the foundations on which this nation stands. And those foundations are the God-given rights that we have, the principles of life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. And the bottom line is, Liz, you can't get better than that. This embodies the ultimate, that all people are created equal. How can you improve on that? You can't. That God gives us rights and government exists to secure those rights. You can't get any better than that.
No.
So when we go forward in our history, what this Make America Great Again movement means is that we take those principles, we study them more intensely, we apply them more faithfully, we understand them more deeply, and we realize whatever the future holds, there's no way to improve upon that narrative. That's our foundation forever.
And the foundations are there. It's a matter of understanding them. And if we could just teach how important it is to really understand that and follow that.
That's right.
But right now they want to rewrite all of it. It's there's nothing wrong with it. What's why? What's the issue? I completely understand what you're saying, and it brings me to a point. I'll just tell you because I like to chat with you. Viewers can know it, but one of my friends from high school, and I think about it just about every day. About a month ago, when we were covering January 6th, which was just a insane day. There's a lot of good and a lot of awful. And we were at the Capitol, and someone commented on a photo of me at the White House, and they said, I can't believe you support a party that would vote in favor of bringing back slavery. This person I adore, and I I was so heartbroken to think that somebody would possibly think that about me for being a conservative.
Right.
I would fight like HE double hockey sticks to make sure that is never seen anywhere on this planet ever again.
That's right. Well, if they want to go there, then we got to challenge them again. Why do you support a decision of the Supreme Court like Biden says, we want to codify Roe v. Wade, that says literally the word person does not include the unborn? The unborn is medical science's newest patient. We can see, diagnose, treat, perform surgery on these children. And you're saying they're not persons?
Yeah.
That the mother can kill them at will? Okay, now you're going to dare to lecture us about slavery? If anything is slavery, that's slavery. Roe v. Wade, abortion on demand, that's slavery. It's violence, it's discrimination of the worst kind, and these people are unashamed of it.
Absolutely unashamed, and somehow still not even unashamed, but proud.
They're proud of it.
Proud.
It's sad. It's sad and it's scary.
No, I completely agree with you. We are going to let's wrap this one.
Yes.
Start to wrap it, and then we'll bring you back. We'll get some more people in here. Bring you back every day?
Every day. I'll be here all
CPAC
weekend.
The whole week.
Absolutely.
So
let's do it.
Let's bring you back every single day. We can do hour-long interviews, whatever it may be. Father Frank, we look forward to seeing you again. And for our audience, how can they catch?
Yes, we have our own broadcasting also, endabortion.tv. Endabortion.tv. You'll see us every day, and it's great to be part of the Right Side Broadcasting family and to have all of you involved. It's a joy, and it's a joy to be with you.
Thank you very much. It's a joy to be with you and to have you here. As always, thank you.
Thank you.